Hi, friends. For quite some time, I have been thinking about whether I should speak about what is happening in my country right now. I normally prefer to stay away from political issues and controversies, but when I see the situation unfolding around us, especially the involvement of young people and students, I felt that I should share my personal thoughts. This is not about supporting one political party or opposing another. This is simply my perspective as a citizen who is watching what is happening around us and thinking about where our country, and more importantly, our young generation is heading. I may be right or I may be wrong. You may agree with me or you may completely disagree. But I believe we should be able to have an honest conversation. So today, I want to share my thoughts on the current situation in our country. And I want to ask a few questions that I believe every one of us should think about. Stop for a moment. Look around you. Young people are standing on roads. Students are missing classes. Public life is disrupted. Security forces are being confronted. Stones are being thrown. And the entire country is being dragged into another cycle of political confrontation. But I have one simple question. What exactly are we trying to achieve? And more importantly, who is actually benefiting from all this? Because there is a difference between fighting for a genuine cause and being used as a tool for someone else's political agenda. And I believe it is time we had an honest conversation about that. Let me make one thing absolutely clear. In a democracy, people have every right to protest. If citizens believe that something is wrong, they have the right to raise their voices. They have the right to question the government. They have the right to demand accountability. That is democracy. But democracy also comes with responsibility. A protest should have a clear objective, a clear demand, a clear path toward a solution. But what happens when the original purpose of a protest slowly disappears? What happens when political parties enter the scene? What happens when slogans become more important than solutions? What happens when young people who initially came forward for a genuine cause are gradually pulled into a larger political battle? At that point, we need to stop and ask, are the protesters still fighting for the original cause? Or has the cause itself become a vehicle for somebody else's political ambitions? My biggest concern is not about politicians, it is about the young people of this country, especially students. Think about this. You have one life, you have limited years to study, limited opportunities to build your career, limited time to develop your skills, and yet thousands of young people are spending their precious time on the streets. But who will pay the price? The politicians? No. The political party? Not at all. The activists? Never. But you will. When your education is interrupted, you lose. When your career is delayed, again you lose. When your future opportunities disappear, you lose. The people who encourage you to remain on the streets will eventually return to their own lives. But you will still have to face the consequences. So, to the every young person listening to me, please ask yourself one question. Is this protest helping you to build your future? Or is somebody using your frustration to build their future? Because your anchor is powerful. Your numbers are powerful. Your energy is extremely powerful. And political organizations know that. That is why the youth are often the easiest targets for political mobilization. They are passionate, they are emotional, they want change, and sometimes they don't realize that their passion is being redirected. Dear friends, every political movement may begin with a genuine purpose, but once political interest enter the picture, things start changing. The original demand becomes secondary, the political slogans become louder, the media narrative changes, the protest becomes bigger than the issue itself. And suddenly the question is no longer how do we solve the problem? The question becomes how do we keep the protest alive? This is a dangerous transformation because a protest without an exit strategy can become a permanent political weapon. And the longer it continues, the more difficult it becomes to separate genuine public concern from political manipulation. This is where citizens must become more intelligent. Don't blindly follow anyone. Don't follow a crowd simply because everyone else is doing it. Don't assume that every person standing on a stage has the same objective as you. Start asking questions. Who organized this moment? Who is funding it? Who is benefiting from it? What is the end goal? What happens after the protest ends? And most importantly, what happens to you? Friends, now let us talk about something that cannot be justified. Yes, I'm talking about violence. If people throw stones at security forces, if public property is getting destroyed, if ordinary citizens are prevented from going to work, if roads are blocked indefinitely, that is no longer a peaceful democratic expression. That is disorder. You may disagree with the government. You may disagree with the minister. You may demand someone's resignation. But disagreement does not give anyone the right to attack another human being. Our security personnel are also human beings. They have families. They have children. They have lives. They stand there because it is their duty. You may criticize their actions, you may question their decisions, but attacking them with stones cannot be defended as democracy. A stone does not strengthen an argument. Violence does not make a demand more legitimate. If your cause is genuine, defend it with facts, defend it with evidence, defend it with dialogue, defend it with constitutional and democratic means, but don't turn the streets into a battlefield. There is another side that we rarely discuss. Every prolonged protest has a cost. Businesses suffer, daily wage workers suffer, students suffer, patients suffer, families suffer, the economy suffers, and ultimately ordinary citizens pay the price. The people who can afford disruption may survive it, but what about the poor worker who has to travel 30 kilometers to earn a daily wage? What about the patient who needs to reach a hospital? What about the student who has an examination? What about the small business owner who depends on daily customers? When roads are blocked and normal life is disrupted, it is not the politician who suffers the most. Always remember that. It is the ordinary citizen. So before you stand on the road and demand justice, ask yourself, am I actually helping the people I claim to represent? Friends, I want to speak directly to the young people. You are not someone else's political weapon. You are not a crowd to be mobilized. You are not a number in someone's political calculation. You are the future of your family. You are the future of your community. You are the future of this country. Your time is precious. Your education is precious. Your career is precious. Your dreams are precious. Don't surrender them blindly. If you believe something is wrong, speak it out. If you believe injustice has happened, question it. If you believe a leader has failed, demand his accountability, but do it intelligently. Use your education, use the law, use democratic institutions, use social media responsibly, use facts, use evidence, use your vote. Don't throw away your future just to become a statistic in someone else's political movement. Perhaps the most important question is this: when the protest is finally over, who will remain with you? Will the political leaders who encourage you stand beside you when your education is delayed? Will they stand beside you when you struggle to find a job? Will they compensate your lost time? Will they rebuild your future? Think carefully, because political movements come and go, governments change, ministers change, political parties change, but your life, your career, your future, you get only one. So, to conclude, I'm not against people demanding justice. I'm not against peaceful protest. I'm not against questioning those in power. I am just against blind following. I am against political exploitation of our young minds. I am against violence in the name of protest. I am against destroying public peace for political gains. And I am against turning our youth into instruments of somebody else's agenda. To every student standing on the street, I ask you, have you thought about where this road is taking you? Is it taking you towards your dreams, towards your education, towards your career, towards your destiny? Or is someone else is using your anger to reach their own destination? Think, because your future is too valuable to be wasted. Your youth is too precious to be manipulated, and your destiny is too important to be sacrificed for someone else's political ambition. Protest if you must, question if you must, demand accountability if you must, but never surrender your ability to think, because the moment you stop thinking for yourself, someone else starts thinking for you. And that is when democracy itself is in danger. Thank you.